My passion for speaking about an injustice happened long before I became a lawyer. But that one night of being attacked by the police, I was at Glasgow University and I had changed my course from engineering to politics and sociology. I'd become incredibly politicized, and that night we'd occupied the principal's office against student loans. And that evening, I think probably around about 8, 9 o'clock, I was bored and I thought I used to love fly posting. So I wanted to go to Ashton Lane to put up posters with other students against student loans. Somebody shouted out police and I went, okay, run. I was running across the grass and I felt somebody grab me from behind. And the first thought that went through my head was my mum, because I used to phone my mum every single night. And I thought, I'm getting to jail tonight. So I was like, oh no.
And I was jumped on from behind, pushed to the ground. And I basically went, all right, shouted out, all right, I've stopped. And the next thing, like dragged by the neck, whatever, in the head and stuff, and start having my head, face smashed off the ground.
My mouth was bleeding, it was gushing forth. I was terrified, I opened my eyes. I thought, am I going to be one of those black boys that dies in the back of police vans as they had done in my home city, Liverpool?
And I started basically screaming for help and stuff, saying I want an ambulance. The police officers concerned started giving me abuse and saying, we'll take you down to the cells if you don't shut up and stuff.
And I stupidly asked the question why. I was crying, I was scared, and asked the question why, and the next thing I heard was,
this is what happens, to black boys with big mouths.
I was terrified because I knew that they were going to call a van and that they were going to take me to the station and I might never come out. And then somebody had said to me about getting photos, getting a photograph. I like then and like now, I was incredibly vain. And I just couldn't look at my face because I thought, what have they done? And I suppose I just felt like I wanted my mum and I wanted to go home. And I was scared.
This is what happens to black boys with big mouths.
A young Asian man has taken Strathclyde police to court, alleging he was the victim of a racist assault by officers in the force.
That one night changed the course of my life.
I had 3 front teeth, that was smashed in. I had bruising. I mean, that was basically, what happened.
I know Aamer through his days when he was an undergraduate student at Glasgow University. This was a horrific assault and, of course, made much, much worse by the words of this constable who said,
this is what happens, to black boys with big mouths.
The brutality of the attack should not go underestimated.
In what's believed to be the first case of its kind in a Scottish court, Aamer Anwar is claiming £15,000 compensation from the Chief Constable.
I still remember to this day my lawyers saying to me, you do realise your life will be made hell. Your picture will be seen by every police officer and they will target you and they will pick you out. And that no person of colour, no black or Asian person has ever won a case against the police in Scotland for a racist attack. I went, just because they haven't doesn't mean I can't.
Just want to see that justice is done today.
People did not take cases against the police. We really cannot understate the courage that Aamer showed in taking this case forward.
And I made legal history. I won that case.
The sheriff has issued a 13-page judgment in which he goes into the question of racial motivation.
It's a remarkable feat to have won that case. It's a landmark.
And I remember when I walked out that courtroom room, I said to my mum and dad, I'm going to become a lawyer. Take all the anger from that night and to do something about it.
I was lucky. I only lost 3 front teeth rather than my life. But how many more people must be attacked or killed before things will change?
There was lessons learned that night. The first lesson was learnt by the police and by institutions that this black boy's mouth just got bigger and bigger as the years went by.